put over $20,000 just into the book. Now that goes into another phase. Where did I get the money? Many of us live up to our limits. We live right up to the paycheck. I was at the post office last week. They said we scheduled you on a day that everyone was getting paid. Because if you would have come 2 days later, they wouldn't have any money. And if you would have come 3 days before, they wouldn't have had any money. And that's the biggest joke in the post office, is that you have to come on payday. When everyone has their money. 2 weeks. I understand. I can't say people here, you know. The post office. Now, one of the things that we did was we put off buying the house that we wanted. We lived in a townhouse. We stayed at a means that we were on when my wife and I were coming out of college. Because when I was coming out of school, in college, I fell in love with her. And I asked her to marry me when I was in college. She looked at me, she said, look, you don't have any money, you don't even have a job. You broke. I'm not marrying you. So, my oldest brother, Fast Eddie, he always talks about making $1 million. I know we have people like that in our family, people are friends. And one day, when I got out of school, Eddie said, don't even interview for a job, EJ. He said, I have a job for you. You're a financial. I was a finance major. He was an accountant. He said, man, we can get out here and spin on our backs with our degrees and do breakdancing, but we're going to have a job. So I said, all right, I don't have to interview. My brother got me a job. That Monday morning, he started me on my new job. Now, the only problem was he was paying me about $50 a week. My father said, look, man, we didn't send you to college for this. If you don't get a real job, you got to get out the house. We lived in the projects now. He was talking about getting out the big palace. You know, the Lakeview property there. So my girlfriend had just gotten this new job. $15,000 a year. I said, baby, you rich. Marry me. She said, EJ, you broke. So one day, we were in a store, and it was full of people. And I said, if I propose to her now, in front of all of these people, there's no way she's going to embarrass me and turn me down. So I got on one knee. And I said, honey, I love you. Will you marry me? Yes. She said, she's good at this, isn't she? She said, no, you broke. So the crowd started coming around. I said, she won't marry me. They said, marry him. She said, no, you all don't know. The dude making $50. So finally, I held her hand so long, for about 15 minutes, I was down on my knee. And she said, okay, we'll try it. And we took that $15 that she had, that $15,000 that she had, and that $50 that I had. Now, she pretended to let me still make decisions. We would sit down and we would start our budget. And I would ask her what was needed in the house. And she said, well, EJ, we need a new washer and dryer. And I pull out my little $50, stick it on the table. But she never criticized me for the little money that I made. Now that next year, I went on to corporate America, and I became good in sales. And I became one of the top salesmen for one of the biggest companies. And I was making over $50,000 to $60,000. And she was still making that little 15. But I never forgot the way she treated me. Mm-hmm. See, that relationship now or then is the same relationship that we had now. Because when I wanted to go out here again, and I took $20,000 and put into this book, and I took thousands of dollars to put into advertisement and everything. Now she calls me a broke brother again. She said, you back to where you were. But she said, you did it before, so you can do it again. See, we have to look at the potential, the expectations that we have in our lives. Now, that next year when I made $60,000, you know, when you ain't used to money, and you start going out buying appliances, I would go to the store, and 1 month I made about $8,000. And they gave me this commission check, and she said, honey, we need a washer and dryer. And we went out to Sears and looked at it. The man said, how do you want to pay? I said, cash! Yeah, I said, let's go get a refrigerator. We need some food. Cash! Let's get a new car. Cash! Then we had to slow down and say, okay, wait. Let's live. We lived off of $15,000. Let's not shoot up to a $100,000 lifestyle. That was the greatest thing that we could do, is that we planned so that now when I needed the money, 10 years later, it was there. One of the biggest problems that we have is when we have an idea, we don't have a way to finance it. And it stays an idea. On the bottom of the sheet that I handed you,